One, two, one, two, one, two. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Pontiac WYAC. Sante in the place to be. We here right now, and we're going to talk about stuff for a moment. Let me go ahead and change something in my headphones. Okay, yeah, there we go. We sounding a little bit nicer to myself. But welcome to Pontiac WYAC and the place to be. It is a couple of days before it is time for you guys to go ahead and send your gifts out and do everything that you say you want to do. You want to get on, send your money out. Go ahead, and I know a lot of you guys are out there. Hey, earlier today I went to the bank. Let me go and stop that music. Earlier I went to the bank, and I'm telling you, leaving the bank, I seen so many people at the stores. It's crazy. It was crazy. But I know a lot of people got some shopping to do, so be careful out there. The first story that I'm gonna talk about, it almost has something to do. It's a crazy story. Go ahead, and if you could please go ahead and hit the share button. We're gonna talk about some topics, some local news, some national news, and some things of that nature. So tonight, first off, want to give a shout out to everybody that's out there in the world listening to me on Facebook and YouTube. If you could give me a share, I would really, really appreciate that. Now it's important, you guys. Listen, we're going into the season where, it's treacherous out here. And you got to be mindful. You got to be watching your back. You got to watch what you got to watch what you're doing. You got to watch who you with. In overall, you just got to keep your head on a swivel. Overall, you just got to be very, very mindful of what's going on. And if you're not mindful, you can get got out here, and not even just being mindful about what's going on when you leave the house. What's also even more important is what you do while, basically in a nutshell, what you're doing while you're at home. I seen a story this weekend that really just threw me off, y'all, and we're gonna have to go ahead and talk about it. It was a fake UPS delivery. And it threw me off. You know what I mean? It really just, it was terrible what I saw. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to bring in questions. I'm going to bring in callers if you guys want to call in. But what happened was a travesty. And I just had to go ahead and share it and talk about what I saw earlier. Well, I saw this yesterday, actually. I was chilling, eating, and I'm like, okay. But this went to the umpteenth level. But you got to be mindful what's going on, not only outside. You got to watch the surrounding in your house. Look at these UPS, these Amazon drivers. Hey, yo, if they're not pulling up in an Amazon truck, you guys do not answer that doggone. Don't answer that dog. There's a couple of mistakes that these people, it's a couple of big mistakes that these people did while they were caused to be fatal for them. But let's go ahead and go and talk about it right now. Yeah, this is hard to swallow, but here we go. Now, this can get a little gruesome, you know what I'm saying? But we just got to watch what's happening. Now, what's attempting to happen right here is you have a family that's at home, chilling at home, and you got some guys that's attempting to rob them or going to rob them with kids at home. It's just terrible what we about to witness. But let's go ahead and just take a look at this and see what this story brings, but this is for us to be diligent, to really think about what we got going on, who's watching us. We never know who's watching at the end of the day. We never know who's watching at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and start this story. So first off, we got to do with a package. We got to do with a package with no labeling on it. Number one, no label, no labeling on it. Come on now. That's a red flag, but then you got a guy with a Pooh Shiesty mask on. He leaving. Now just think, this was like moments away. If my man could have just left and not answered this no, I think everything would have turned out and been all right. But
one of the victims steps out, apparently completely unaware the delivery is a setup.
Ain't no big dog, is it? Ain't no big dog, is it? Not yet. Hey, check it out. Come on. Don't move. Don't move. Move your hand. Move your hand. Move your hand. Open the door. Move in there. Move like that. Wait. Open the door. Move on below you. Hey, don't move.
The home security camera captures.
So now we got basically this fake UPS then barged themselves into the crib. Just look at how this unfold. Y'all got to watch this. I'm not going to take it to the gruesome parts. Go ahead and share it if you win and you watching, please. But check this out. And this is why we got to stay diligent. Not only what's going on outside, but what's going inside around our house and who's watching. So these dudes came knocking on the door. Boom, boom, boom. My man didn't answer. He wound up answering the door, walked out and met them. Now they walking back up. A UPS, fake UPS. Check this out.
Ain't no big dog, is it? Ain't no big dog, is it? Not yet. Hey, check it out. Come on. Don't move. Don't move. Move your hand. Move your hand. Move your hand. Open the door.
There go the jack move right there. Right there.
Move like that. Wait. Open the door. Move on below you. Hey, don't move.
The home security camera captures the third suspect come up the driveway after he's waved in by the other men.
And look at him. He doofus, you know what I mean? He come up and walking in the backyard. Look.
Come on.
But yo, this is terrible. This is terrible what we about to see. I don't know if I really feel the need to go ahead and play it all, but just look at what we about to see. You have to be diligent who's watching you. Look at this, y'all. Look. You have to be careful. These guys had to be watching that house and knowing what's going on. Luckily, this guy had cameras all in this house, but check this out. Kids in the house and everything.
Una pistola, viejo. Tienen una pistola, amigo. Dos morenos.
Wow.
Mom, yeah. Please, please, don't do Don't do anything, please. Oh.
The mother managed to call 911, leaving the line open so dispatchers could hear what was happening as the chaos unfolded.
911, yeah, this is the emergency. Hello?
Oh my gosh. Give me the money. And I ain't playing. Look. I know. Hey, Mario Alberto. Come on with the money, man.
Naked. Okay. Ow.
Stop playing with me.
Ow.
Give me the money.
Okay.
I'm gonna smack out you.
Please don't. I will give you whatever you want.
Go give me the money then.
Okay, that's all.
Come on. You get when you move
Oh
too.
my God.
Get up.
I'm getting up.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna smack the out your son.
Oh, okay, I'm going.
Come on in.
Okay.
All right, where the money? Go get it. Yeah. We ain't playing. Go get it.
It's right here.
Get it. Come on. Come on. Open it. Man, come on.
Ooh.
Don't move. No.
Kids there and everything, dog.
Just hold on. Sit down. If you move, open. Where is that? This ain't all the money. Man, you finna play with me, so I gotta go violate.
No, please
Okay.
don't. That's all the money we have.
This ain't nothing.
That's all we have.
Okay.
Ow.
All right.
Ow. It's all we have. Oh my God, it's all we have.
Mm.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no.
Wow. Is this where we done? This been happening for a long time, but this is where we done came to. They got in that house thinking this is how most of the stuff like this happen. People break in, they barely even get anything, but they wind up taking 3 lives in front of 2 toddlers.
That's all we have. Oh my God.
With no mercy, one of the intruders turns on the father, 39-year-old Mario Alberto Trejo Estrada, and a single shot to the head ends his life in the entryway of the home.
Where are my babies?
I have money for you.
Where are my babies?
Oh, man.
Where are
Mm.
my babies?
I have money for you.
Where are my babies?
Mm. Wow. Wow. Mm. Mm.
The terrifying footage continues as the intruders turn their violence toward the mother and her 20-year-old son, all while the 2 young children are still in the home. The victims are later identified as 42-year-old Shannon Patricia Youngworth and her son, 20-year-old Jorge Alexander Reyes Youngworth.
Look. Do not answer the door for nobody. Do not answer the door for nobody, especially this time of season. But for real, do not answer the door for nobody. When you are, you got UPS, you got FedEx. Their job is, unless you know it's a special delivery, you have to sign for a package. But do not answer the door. You know, unless you see them in a UPS, a FedEx marked, in a marked vehicle, you know, and in a lot of ways, you got to be able to keep a weapon by you at home too. A lot of people, you know, you pretty much think, well, it's out and about, but you kind of basically got to go ahead and carry in the house too, or have something close by. I don't care how big or how small it is. Because especially if you got people there that you're watching and taking care of, this was just a sad situation. And when I saw this, it really just turned me down. It was just terrible. It's hard to, you know, of course it's hard to see things like this and watch, and watch things like this, they are just, they gruesome. They are unnecessary. And at the end of the day, several lives are 10, 11, 20 or more lives are affected by this. 50 lives or more. You know what I mean? All the people that passed away, those children, because they're going to remember a speck of something about this. The family, the extended family, then the guys, the perpetrators that did this, they in life affecting their children. It's just crazy how that cycle just snowballed so fast over nothing. And these cats didn't even get nothing. These cats didn't get nothing worth nothing. And at the end of the day, what can you do? So it's up to yourself to be diligent. You your first line of defense at the end of the day, y'all. You are your first line of defense at the end of the day. And it's only right that you got to go ahead and you got to go ahead and make sure that you're doing what you need to do to go ahead and protect yourself and your family at all times. So we're going to go ahead and turn it to a lighter note. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much of a lighter note this is. I really don't know how much of a lighter note that this is. You know, I'm a little sad and sour about this. You know, it's unnecessary what happened the other day. I really think, you know, my boys got cheated. I really feel like they got cheated yesterday. At the end of the day, the Lions the Lions is in a position right now where I feel like they are. It's like the last 2 years have been. It seemed like they're in a rebuilding state all over again. It feels like Dan Campbell is not taking advantage of, you know, especially when you get late in the season, like where we are with the Detroit Lions. You have to take the points, man. You have to take the points. And the Detroit Lions, they playing too much. Now, they should have won. They got cheated. That was some BS. And we're going to go to this call right here because they should have won. And now we got a little commercial coming up. But the Lions should have won yesterday. It's ridiculous how and it seems like the Lions always get played with these type of situations. But we got to review this play. The first play, where Amon-Ra St. Brown, when he caught that should have been touchdown. That should have been game, match, game over. Lions come back, thrilling victory. We won at home. Pittsburgh Steelers out of here. But we got blanked by the league again. Check this out. That was the game. That was the win right there. That play right there. That was the play. Let's go. Let's take this up. I thought my man was in right there, quite honestly. But see what the Lions should have did right here? Okay, cool. That should have been because the defender initiated contact first. That wasn't a pick. That wasn't a pick block. The defender initiated the contact first. Lions should have been up. That should have been the win right there. But they screwed us on the second one. They surely for sure screwed us on the second one. And we got right back down there, but I didn't have confidence. It's like I got so used to the Lions winning the last couple of years that I really felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't know. And then, come on, man. And that's the season at the end of the day. So I really don't know, man. You know, at the end of the day, this is how I feel about the Detroit Lions. At the end of the day, y'all. I feel like there's plenty of talent. I feel like there's plenty of growth and plenty of room, and there's plenty of positions. And there's plenty of positions that need to be actually held or you know, shored up with the Lions. But I feel like they got core great talent. And I do feel like they got good coaching. but so much was lacking this year. And I think Dan Campbell, like the league has caught up to the Lions scheme at this point. 2 or 3 years ago, the Lions caught everybody by storm by going for the fourth down. Now we at the point where everybody is going for fourth downs. Everybody is pulling out trick plays. And the NFL, to me, is getting more collegiate. Like it seems like it's getting faster paced, and it's getting more crazier plays happening, and it's more up and down. That's why you see so much more parity in the NFL right now. But I feel like the Lions' best chance, y'all. I felt like the Lions' best chance. That was some bullshit too. For real, for real. I mean, come on, man. They scored before the half. The Lions' defense was so depleted. The secondary, I mean, I don't know what's going on. And I watched this play, and I'm like, yo, well, what's? So I don't know. I don't think that the Lions are going to. Hello. I don't think that the Lions are going to make it this year. I really don't. I feel like, they're going to have to get in the draft. They're going to have to go ahead and shore up this secondary. They're going to have to shore up this defense and get some free agents. And I think next year they're going to come back even better. Honestly, I really think the Lions are going to come back even better. We got to get an offensive coordinator. And quite honestly, Dan Campbell, at the end of the day, you're going to have to start taking them. You're going to have to start taking them doggone 3 points, brother. Go ahead and kick your field goals, because that would have changed the dichotomy of the game at the end of the day. That would have made the game a total different game at the end of the day. But I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure, what these next 2 games are really going to do for the Lions. So we got the Vikings. At this point right now, you're playing for pride. And it's so crazy because we have gotten spoiled by the Lions the last couple of years. It's crazy. Like we really been spoiled by decently entertaining football. Decently entertaining football. So right now we about to go into the headlines, you guys. We're going to start talking about the headlines. The Oakland Press headlines of the day. And I will be opening up the phone lines where you guys can call in too. We will go ahead and I'll put that up a little bit. I'll probably put that up here. If anybody wants to call, they can. 248-905-1128, 248-905-1128. Oakland Press headlines of the day. I kind of like how I'm structuring this. You know what I'm saying? This, I got a little structure going on. Okay. But let's go ahead and look at the headlines of the day. If you want to call in, please call in. You feel free, 248-905-1128. Pontiac residents march in solidarity with the immigrant community. Right here, we have Councilman Mikhail Goodman, who just basically, in a nutshell, regained his District 3 seat. And it says Alexis Hucks left and the Pontiac Council member Mikhail Goodman, second left from right or from the left, speak at a gathering crowd marching protest of ICE on Saturday, December the 20th, 2025. Immigration is not illegal. Migration is not illegal. No, it's not. Immigration pollinate our communities. No ICE, hands off. So I didn't even know about this was going on. I didn't even know this was going on down, around and about. I have mixed feelings about this. I think Mikhail Goodman is a pretty good council person. I like him. He's a very humble young man, smart young man. Got his head on right, I believe. But I'm kind of up in the air with certain things when it comes to this subject, and I love that talk more about this. Maybe have Mikhail Goodman back on the show again. When he gets a chance. I know he just retained his seat, and with retaining your seat, sometimes you got to go ahead and go with the flow, and get your footing back going on, and then we start again. But I believe I believe illegal immigration is illegal. You know what I'm saying? So if you hear a certain type of way, then you hear a certain type of way. If you hear legally, then you hear legally. But if you're illegally, there's consequences to that. Nothing wrong with legal migration or immigration. Nothing wrong with that. But when you hear a certain way, that's kind of we got to talk about that. You know what I mean? So there's other things going on around in Oakland County. Let's see, because I'm going to bring y'all along with me. I ain't a subscription type of guy. I do not do subscriptions. But for you guys, I did the Oakland Press subscription. You know what I mean? So I did the Oakland County subscription, and it was only $1 a day, so I can go ahead and cancel anytime I want. But I think I'm going to do it just primarily for the show, so I have, talking points or something that comes up and we can talk about. Let's look at this. National news. Today in Chicago history, John Wayne Casey arrested in suspected deaths of 33 boys and young men. Wow. So that is a piece of history right there. One of the things that I wanted to get into this evening is I wanted to talk about Jasmine Crockett. I know that some people really have strong opinions about her. I'd like to know more about Jasmine. I know she's running for the U.S. Senate. From what I've seen and heard, I'm really not a huge, I'm really not a huge advocate of what she got going on from what I heard from her. But, she's an interesting character. You know what I mean? And she's running for U.S. Senate in the state of Texas. I don't know who she's running against, but it's going to be a tough battle for her. You know what I'm saying? Because Texas is a red state. And at the end of the day, with Texas being overwhelmingly a red state, it seems to me that the Democratic Party has set her up to fail. I don't believe that there's no way that this woman will win the Texas U.S. Senate race. I don't see it. Let's hear some words from her.
Congresswoman, I'm so glad you brought up policy. I went back and I watched your launch speech about your campaign for Senate. And a lot of it was talking about the back and forth with Trump and other people who have put you down over the years. But there really wasn't that much about policy. So I want to give you the opportunity now to talk a little bit about that. Affordability is on everyone's minds. You talked about extending the ACA subsidies. Can you give us a couple of other examples of policies that you would fight for to help Texans, your constituents, on affordability issues if you were granted a seat in the Senate?
Yeah, so first of all, I think we need to raise the minimum wage. We have not done that in a national way, and so Texas is not taking it upon themselves, so the minimum wage is still $7.25. We can start to go ahead and put more money into working people's pockets, and whether you're a minimum wage worker or otherwise, we know that once you raise the minimum wage, everyone else's wages go up. We know that costs are going up to the extent that we know that when people were showing up in those food lines as the president was sending $40 billion over to Argentina instead of making sure that people that are supposed to get their SNAP benefits had their money, we know that there were a lot of working class people. We have somehow decided that in this country we were okay with 2 senators from Texas voting to make tax cuts for billionaires permanent, while at the same time not being okay with making sure the tax subsidies that are temporary are available as it relates to health care. We also know that we are in Texas and we do trading big. We are one of the largest trading states in this entire world. And with that, we know that we are experiencing record bankruptcies from a lot of our small businesses because of the tariff policies that this president has decided he wanted to implement. It is time to rein him in. It is time to implement some sort of checks and balances because he has exceeded his power. We also know that ultimately, when I came down to making this decision, the Senate is the one that actually has oversight over the Supreme Court. It is time for us to actually exercise some oversight. And this is the only court, the highest court in the land. It's the only one that does not have any type of ethics that they have to follow. I think that we need to look at that. In addition to the fact, anyone who gets a lifetime appointment has to go through the Senate. And so it's time for us to make sure that we have someone who has been in those courtrooms and can make sure that the right judges are on the benches.
Congresswoman, I'm so glad.
So she's stating her case. I think, as far as even listening to her, to what she just said, a couple things. We all look at tax situations, and I look at tax situations a little bit different. We got to look at. I'm not saying tax the poor and the middle class to death. Not saying that. We all know that the poor, quote unquote, and the middle class, if there is barely one anyway, is still the lifeblood of the country. It's still the lifeblood. It will always be in the lifeblood of any country because you're going to have more of those than you have billionaires and millionaires. But who creates the jobs? You know, and so it's a double-edged sword. You can't tax people you can't tax to death the people that are creating the jobs. Because if you tax to death the people that are creating the jobs, they can't create more jobs or create more employment. Am I wrong? You want to be able to give them a tax break and incentive in order to be able to hire staff, upgrade, and things of that nature. But these tax breaks, what people don't understand, because Democrats, what I really don't like about Democrats, for real, I don't think Democrats really promote people to be owners of ownerships of nothing. They don't tell people, okay, you don't have to be a billionaire to get these tax breaks and cuts and all this type of stuff. They don't come out and tell people that, you know what, you can be a simple business owner and get these same tax breaks and cuts that the billionaires and millionaires do. Because at the end of the day, the country is based and built around really not just the middle class or the poor. It's built around business. So it incentivizes people that have businesses or creating business or creating jobs or create a motion. So you will get those tax benefits and breaks the same as the billionaires and the millionaires. They just be the ones that happen to use it because they do business and they know about it. You know, so a lot of times, you know, what I have to gripe about with the Democratic overall, the national party, not saying in a nutshell local, but in a national scheme of things, is that the education is not really given to people. It's to keep people ignorant. So when it comes to these tax breaks, they make you feel like you taxing the poor. Create a small business. You can have a job still, but still create a small business. And you can ways you can merge the two, far as the money that you get from your job, you could do some really smart things that aren't hard to allow yourself not to be taxed like everybody else. But I don't really feel like the Democratic Party, in my opinion, really thrives on education of people. I think it thrives on, a lot of times, ignorance of people and feed on that. Jasmine Crockett, you know what I mean? I've been listening to her. I've been trying to understand her stance. She's just gonna have a difficult time winning Texas for the U.S. Senate. You know, and I really think that I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they setting her up for a fail right here, because just mark my words, it's going to be so difficult for this lady to win in Texas, if she can at all. So I'm interested to see how this race plays out. I'm interested to see what she do, what she talk about. She tends to go back and forth with Trump a whole heap of a lot. And honestly, she could play that to her advantage to kind of galvanize a base. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that's going to be enough for her to go ahead and pull this off. Texas is it's overwhelmingly red. I really, the Democrats is in terrible shape. The Democratic Party is in terrible shape. And it's so much I want to talk about, man. I can bring up. It just came court rulings in Georgia in the 2020 election that there was fraud in the there was fraud in the election of 2020. In the 2020 election, there was fraud found in the state of Georgia. It was a ruling, and it came out but that's the type of news that doesn't really hit the headlines. CNN, ABC, NBC, they're not really gonna play that. They're really not gonna show that. They're really not gonna show that news. But yeah, so maybe I'll bring that out tomorrow, talk about that. Also, there's some more corruption in Minnesota to the tune of billions of dollars by the Somali. And this goes back where I just pulled up the Oakland Press news clipping, where immigration, like, you have people coming here, and that's no problem. You got people coming, no problem. But you got people coming here stealing. You know what I mean? So it's like in a tune of billions of dollars. You know, we're not talking about millions. That's a lot. But to the tune of billions of dollars. And so you're taking billions of dollars out of the system. Also, more news that has came out. The state of Michigan has been found out to have a slush fund where millions of dollars that were supposed to go to programs and other things. I got this earpiece. I got these $9 earpieces, y'all. I bought these joints, and they're kind of decent. I ain't got to wear big headphones no more. But millions of dollars in slush fund money that was supposed to go to either schools or either roads, healthcare, all these different things, or organizations. We're not done. And again has I want to talk about that. So it's a couple of things I want to bring up. There's different stories and want to bring up, but I just wanted to, I just wanted to, wet your whistle a little bit about what we're going to be probably talking about. I'm going to be bringing on Marcus Bowman and be talking to him probably in the next day or two My man is real versed in a lot of different things that's going on politically all around it. Not locally, but regionally and nationally. He reached back out to me, so I'm gonna be getting together with Marcus Bowman, and we're gonna have a real good discussion. I think I'm gonna bring him on, and try to bring him on instead of having him over the phone. But there's plenty to talk about. One of the things that I would like to talk about here, because people got stuff to say, you know what I mean, and but we got to talk about what's going on with these two guys right here. Bill Clinton and Harvey Epstein. There's some stuff going on right now where those files have been released. And it's implicating people that people didn't realize was going to be on the files. And now there's nobody talking about it. Let's hear about it. Let's take a listen.
Continue to release more of the Epstein files on a rolling basis, blaming any delays on releasing all of the files on the time-consuming process of obscuring victims' names and other identifying information. For reaction to that and much more, Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is in Florida covering the president. Hello, Lucas.
Shannon, at least 16 files have disappeared from the Justice Department's website related to Jeffrey Epstein, including a photo of President Donald Trump one day after they were posted. It's photos of a former president that's getting a lot of attention right now. Newly released photos from the Justice Department show Bill Clinton in a hot tub with another occupant whose face is redacted. It's not clear when or where this event took place. Other photographs show the former president with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross on a plane. Another shows this unidentified woman sitting on his lap. Clinton has denied any wrongdoing through a spokesman. They can release as many grainy 20-plus-year-old photos as they want, but this isn't about Bill Clinton. Never has, never will be. Before the photos were released, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair she did not think there was anything incriminating about Bill Clinton in the Epstein files, contrary to past statements made by President Trump. Wiles said the president was wrong about that. Democrats accused the White House of stalling.
So he's done everything but deliver on transparency. He's dragged his feet at every juncture this year as president.
Some think Congress has been dragging its feet when it comes to health care reform. Lawmakers departed for the holidays without a deal, with Obamacare subsidies set to expire at year's end. 4 House Republicans sided with Democrats, signing off on a discharge petition to force a vote on extending Obamacare subsidies when Congress returns next year.
It'll be a straight 3-year extension of an unsustainable, unaffordable.
So now that the Epstein files are being released slowly but surely, they're showing more actually than I think wanted to be released. I don't think it's going to really be any incriminating evidence fires against the current president or whatever the case may be, but it's going to be showing a lot of other folks, in the mix. I think at the end of the day, I'm interested in seeing what that is going to be, but you're not seeing the big uproar an uptick about anything because I don't think anything is really showing. Number one. Number two, I don't think that the man killed himself. They was talking about how a man killed himself. Somebody killed this guy because I do think there was a lot of things that were going to come out, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So, yeah. So. We'll see. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna stay abreast on it and continue to try to, bring some light to the situation, with different news reports. But again, tonight, you guys, I just wanted to come on for a little bit, for a little while, and bring some news, some little entertainment, real quickly, and just pop on for a little while with you all. Have a little bit of fun. tomorrow night we will be coming back on tomorrow night. And then I think, we might come back on Christmas Eve because I ain't got nothing to do. You know what I mean? So I will be back on here tomorrow. I might be back tomorrow morning. I always say that with the morning minute. But, at the end of the day, you guys, I just want you guys to, the stories that we covered today, we covered the UPS story. I think, at the end of the day, what I want you guys to take from it who have listened is that just be careful. Look at your surroundings. Just because you home don't mean that you 100% safe. You safer in a lot of cases or instances. But it's important that you stay diligent about your safety, and it's real easy to slip sometime and be your mind on other things or on what you got to do when you out. But always think about your safety. Always think about, because the police is always after things have happened. What about when things are happening or right before they happen? The police aren't there. So it's up to you. You are your first line of defense. Just stay watchful and vigilant as best as you can. Even when I'm out somewhere, which I don't go too many places too often, I'm pretty much home and concentrating on working or doing something like that. But when I'm out, I'm always thinking about what the next person is doing in a way. No matter what I got going on in my head, anyway, I'm still thinking about that. Or who, well, I'm with family, I got to protect them. You know what I mean? And it's my duty. Whoever I'm with, I have to protect them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so they can enjoy themselves. I'm more of a watchdog. I'm going to enjoy myself and, whatever, but I'm more watchdogging. And so you just got to be careful, because a lot of times people out there by themselves, and, you women, you go do these places, you go to the stores, or you go here and there, gas stations and this and that. You can't do that at nighttime or when it's dark. Do it when it's light and it's people out and it's people watching. And even you still got to watch then, but do nothing at nighttime. So be diligent, watch your surroundings, and even in your house, have a precaution that you got to have a weapon. In your house, you have to have a weapon near. Something that you can get to if there's anything. And be careful and be watchful, even though you have UPS, you got FedEx, or you got Amazon or whoever dropping stuff off. That don't mean that they real UPS or FedEx people or Amazon people. People are fake. People are fake pumping, and they are, robbing people at their houses. They watch. That's what I'm saying. You got to have a weapon at home. You have to have something diligent and close, because it's not the police obligation to protect you when they're not around. It's too late. You got to be able to do that when they ain't around. So try to have something available that you can get your hand on. Preferably, they call it the great equalizer. You know what that is. You got to have the great equalizer. And I'm an advocate of that. You got to have the great equalizer available at home. Because knives ain't going to do it, man. A knife ain't going to do it. Somebody come up in your house trying to take something from you, trying to do something to you. A knife is just not going to do it. A knife is not going to turn the tables. You know what I'm saying? The way you need it to. So I don't care how big or small the equalizer is, you got to have one. At home, at least. At least at home. Something. You got to have something. So think about that. And this is real important. The Bible even talk about it. In its day, the Bible talks about the sword. Christ said, if you do not have a sword, sell your jacket, sell your cloak, your shirt, your coat, sell your shirt, sell your jacket. If you ain't got one, get one. He told them at least two. And two is enough, basically. At least you got to have two. So basically, if you don't have a sword, and matter of fact, I'm going to get this scripture for you. So I ain't just saying it Sell your cloak and buy a sword. He basically, and this is Luke 22nd. Let's go get it. Luke 22nd, or Luke 22 and 33. Sell your cloak and buy a sword. Jesus said to the disciple, now, whoever has money bag is to take it, and likewise also a bag. And whoever has no sword, let him sell his cloak and buy one. What is the equivalent of a sword from back then to today? What's the equivalent of a sword today for what it was back then? The equivalent is one of these. So Christ is telling you now, whoever has money bag to go take it, and likewise also a bag. Your bag is to put your sword in. And whoever has no sword, let him sell his cloak and buy one. Meaning it's up to you, and it's no problem having a sword to protect yourself. He's basically saying, in today's time, if he was here right now, he wouldn't be saying a sword. You know what he'd be saying to get. So, you should get those. You should get that. As an American citizen, as a, you have the right, what I'm saying, especially if you don't have any felonies or whatever the case may be, you have the right to be able to protect yourself. And you should do that, especially at home where it's sacred. And it's a bunch of crazies going on and around. You know what I mean? You got to have one at least. But at least two. And let me take it back. So where it says two, so we can see it right there. When the disciples, right there in the context of Luke 22, 36 through 38, and go down 1, 2, 3 bullet points. When the disciples say they have two swords, Jesus respond, it is enough. Meaning if you got two of them things, if you got two, you got enough. Two is enough to get them off of you. You know what I'm saying? One might jam, but you can get the other one. That'll get them off until the help, until the cavalry come. You got to be able to protect yourself, y'all. You know what I mean? Because people out here are real treacherous. So if Christ told you this, all you Bible thumpers and people that's Bible believers and all this and this and that, if Christ told you, sell your cloak and buy a sword, you know what that means. The sword is the what? The sword is the hammer. We know what the hammer is. And he told the people, Jesus tells his disciples, now, whoever has money bag is to take it, and likewise also a bag. And whoever has no sword, let him sell his cloak and buy one. He explains this fulfills prophecy. When the disciples say they have two swords, Jesus responds, it is enough, which is, so basically, get you two if you can. Get you two if you can. If you can't, get you one at least. But you got to really be diligent about your safety out here because you just never know. You never know. So with that being said, people, I'm going to let you go. Keep God first, family second, you third, and in that order, you should never be made last. I had fun with you guys tonight. I think I'm going to do a little bit of chilling in the place to be, and then I will be coming back with you guys tomorrow. It has been fun. It's been fun, and I love always coming with you guys. So y'all have a good one, and we'll be back tomorrow. Pontiac WYAC. unless somebody got something to say real quick. I'm gonna count down to 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, and y'all 20 seconds behind me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm gonna wait for 10 seconds and then everybody got nothing to say. I'm out. Peace.